course we are.
A little bit better weather, but man, California is getting it. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna end up in the ocean soon. I feel like the weight of the water's gonna push us down into the ground.
It's crazy.
Sinkholes everywhere, out of nowhere.
It's
rivers,
absolute insanity.
Rivers.
We're not made for this kind of weather.
No.
We're not used to it. So you got to understand, the storm drains aren't clean.
Yep.
They're not prepared.
Mm-mm.
You know, and so we usually have a drought every year. So it's causing like a lot of issues or whatever, you know.
Yeah. It's always
Even
something.
as I was walking back from my dad's house, I was listening to, it's so loud because there's so much water going into the storm drains.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Can you imagine what it looks like down there?
Oh, it's crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But it actually had me talking about, I was visiting my dad yesterday and talking about weather. And I think we talked about it a few weeks ago here on the podcast, but we saw that documentary on the what was it called? Not tornado, but volcano.
Oh,
volcano
volcanoes.
in New Zealand.
Yes.
And I knew that my dad, island had something to do with a volcano. I didn't know what. So I clarified the story yesterday.
Okay.
So had it not been for a volcano in the 50s, my dad would have never come to America.
And you would never have been born.
Isn't that crazy?
And we wouldn't be here doing this podcast.
So there was a volcano in the ocean near his island of Fayal in the 50s, in the mid-50s.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused massive destruction on the island because of ash. Ash was shooting into the air. And it was like houses were collapsing because they couldn't withstand the weight of the ash.
Damn.
And it ruined vegetation and farming and all of that. So the President of the United States signed an order that allowed a certain number of families, a certain number of adults to come to America.
Crazy, dude.
And that's how my dad came to America.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
So because of a volcano, because of a catastrophic event, my dad made it to America. It's just, I don't know. I get like my brain, I get like,
you know why
that
people
kind of
can't...
stuff like fucks me up.
You know, because you have to think about this. We're born here, so we don't know what that struggle is like. But to come to America from some islands way out in Portugal to America and not speak a lick of English, that's tough to say in the least.
I get it. No, for sure.
The whole journey of it.
For sure. But what messes me up, like right now, is thinking is that whole sliding doors thing. The butterfly effect, the sliding doors.
Yeah.
How one small, tiny thing that happens influences a lifetime of stuff.
Yes, true. You're right about that.
It's just crazy.
If you think about it like that.
You know what I mean, right? By sliding doors.
Yeah, I know what it is. One little event.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So it trips me out.
I know.
It trips me out.
Like the little story my father told me, that he came here once without my mother when he was 19. He was only here for like a month or two. Loved it, but decided to go back because he wanted to come back with my mother.
Yeah. 5
years later. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy because he went back for 5 years. That's a long time.
Most people who make it to America do not go back for their girlfriends.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, my dad didn't.
You know, I wouldn't either. If I came here, from my homeland, I'm not going back. I made it to America. I made it to the ticket, the lottery ticket. Sorry, but opportunities here are huge compared to most places on the world.
I know, but it was just cool. I have to say, I'm enjoying. My dad, my parents have fascinating stories, especially if you have like immigrant parents.
Yes. Get
the stories. That's my advice.
Yes.
To you. If you have elderly parents, do not let those stories die with them.
No.
I'm fascinated. He told me so many things yesterday. We were looking at old pictures, and he told me so many things I didn't know. And I thought it made sense. I'm like, no wonder. Like he told me that my grandmother, my mother's mom, never went to the hospital when she was pregnant with my mom. She hated doctors. Go figure. Never went to the hospital. She had my mom when she was only 7 months pregnant. My mom was a preemie.
Whoa.
My grandmother was very ill in the home. Because she never went to the doctor. She just literally got pregnant, had a baby at home, never went to the doctor.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, there's a lot that goes on with that. My mom ends up going to live with her grandmother, so on. There's lots of cool stories there, but it just made me think about my mom. And I was like, wow, so vó, which is grandmother in Portuguese, I'm like, vó never went to the doctor. And he goes, well, neither did your mom. She didn't want to go when she was pregnant. I forced her. He said, I had to force her. Like, oh, no, you're pregnant. You got to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
He said she didn't want to go, and she would use the excuse because when she got pregnant with my brother, my oldest brother, they didn't have insurance. My dad's like, I'll pay cash. You're going.
Yeah.
And he would like, I'm like, but Dad, we know how Mom is. Like, did you go with her to make sure she actually went in? Because chances are she probably wasn't even going in. Because in the later years, we caught my mom like pretending to go to the doctor a few times. But he said she never wanted to go even when she was pregnant through her pregnancies. So it goes to show why she never went to the doctor. Her mother never went to the doctor. It was like a fear passed on.
She inherited that from her mother.
Guess what? I had the same fear.
Really?
I just recently overcome my fear of going to the doctor.
Really?
Do you know of me to go to the doctor very often? No.
But do you know of me to go to the doctors? I have no fear of it.
You have no fear. But I
know what you mean.
But I didn't. For many years, I didn't go and get the things I needed to get done. My pap smears, things like that when I was in my 20s. And I did go religiously when I was pregnant, though. I did go when I was pregnant. But I did have anxiety around it. A lot of anxiety. So now I know.
Makes sense.
But anyways, don't let those stories die with your parents. Get the stories.
Yeah, ask them. There's a lot of stuff we think you think you know because you're their kid, but there's a lot of stuff that they even forget to tell you unless you ask them.
Yeah, so it just was a reminder yesterday, like, ask the questions, get the stories, because it was fascinating to me. Fascinating. And it's good quality time.
Of course. It's
a time where they can get their mind off of the present and go back in time.
Reflect a little bit, like where they come from, how far they've come. You know, like Dad, that was a journey.
Yeah. But there's an interesting phenomenon happening with my dad right now. I've noticed it, but I never talked about it with him. I never asked him.
Cheers.
He's speaking... Cheers? In the middle of my story? We're not at that point yet. He's been speaking Portuguese more than English. And I've noticed it lately, and it's fine because I understand him, right?
We'll
so
speak back to
it's
him.
fine. But yesterday, it was more than usual. Like, he was full-blown just going all out in Portuguese. I was like, Dad, why aren't you talking in English? And he goes, what? He looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, why are you not speaking English? And he goes, I don't know. I thought I was. It was a little scary, to be honest.
Dang, his brain went like on autopilot on its own.
It's crazy. And so, of course, you know me, the moment something happens, I research. I'm like, oh my God, is like he about to have a stroke or what's going on? I guess it's normal in elderly, as dementia, as early onset, like dementia type stuff, they do forget their second language and they will often go back to their native language.
Wow.
It's, part of the process of being elderly and dementia and his illness and all of that.
That's crazy. Isn't it amazing that the brain knows all those years embedded in it? It goes back to its native language.
Yeah.
Like it just knows.
I mean, he couldn't. The weird thing was he couldn't switch. I was like, Dad, talk English, and he's like looking at me like, I don't think I can.
It's almost like when we have a brain fart where you know the answer but you can't spit it out. It angers me. Like I know it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't get it out.
It's like you have to go back in the files of the brain.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was interesting. All right, we are moving on. So, you know how we've been talking about lately your cold showers?
Yeah,
You're still doing that, right?
AKA the suck.
Going through the suck?
Yes. That's the only way to explain it.
It had me curious about it. So, I was like, what is it? What's the thing about this that makes, what are the benefits? So I started looking into it, and it brings me to our topic today, which is hacking our happiness hormones. Hacking our hormones. Mm-hmm. Doing things that are, everyone loves to talk about hormones all the time. Like, oh, hormones, my hormones are stopping weight loss. My hormones this, in a negative way.
Yep.
Let's talk about them in a positive way. And the things we can do to hack them.
2023, leave the negative behind.
Speaking of yours.
Speaking of mine.
Those cold showers give you a dopamine dump.
Yes.
A dopamine is a reward chemical.
Really?
Dopamine is also the thing that addicts get.
Yes.
So addicts get dopamine dumps from whatever they're addicted to when they do it. So, from a drug use, a shopping addiction, whatever the addiction, it's a dopamine dump that they're getting from that. So, instead of getting it from things that are not good for you,
Mm-hmm.
you can still get those dopamine hits from things that are good for you. And that cold therapy thing or whatever that you're doing,
yes,
that's one of the things that you get
within 15 minutes of waking up, right to the cold shower, you guys.
So dopamine is the reward chemical, right? So some of the other things that they say give you dopamine are listening to music. I believe with this one, listening to music, because if you listen to a good song,
dude.
like something
And you're
happens
working out,
inside of you.
You push the intensity.
Yeah.
Naturally, without even knowing you're doing it, just because you're feeling yourself, the song. Yes.
Yes, I love it. And for me, also, like, completing, like, an Orange Theory class, that's completing it is the dopamine.
Yes.
But just the fact of having a class, and we'll talk about some of the other hormones in a second, but releases several hormones throughout the class. And that's why it's so rewarding, so many different things in one Orange Theory class. I'm going to get dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Like, that's like the trifecta.
That's why I love going to back class.
That's why those classes, if you could get yourself in a routine, you're going to get addicted to those hormones. And you're getting them in a good, positive way, ways that are good for you, not bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
But on dopamine, another way to get a dopamine dump is by trying something new. Trying something new would give you dopamine dump. Like, I wonder. You think so?
Possibly, yeah. I believe it. Let's just say, I don't know, you wanna take on mountain biking, and you enjoy trail riding on your mountain bike. You get a rush from that. It's dopamine.
Oh, yeah,
you get excited.
for sure. You get excited. Also, it says here doing something creative kind of gets... It releases dopamine. For me, I definitely think dopamine is released when I organize something.
Yeah, you get it. You like that.
When I clean something, when I organize something, when I'm finished cleaning the house and I light a candle at the end, I literally can feel the dopamine.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling. So if you're feeling down in the dumps and you, like, think about all the different things, like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling like shit right now. I need a little dopamine. How do I get it in a healthy way?
Yeah.
Let me go take a cold shower.
Yeah.
Let me clean the house. Let me organize something and light the candle.
But what? Check this out. I do the cold shower. That's all good and all, but I didn't do it for those reasons.
I know.
I do it because it's the challenge. It's hard. It hurts.
But it feels good after, right?
Yes. Your skin feels like it's almost stinging on fire from the cold, but then it warms. What it does is your internal. It's weird. It's like it warms your internal temperature. So when I get out of the shower, usually you know how you're quick to. I'm not cold at all. I'm actually warm.
But you feel weird. Good. In addition to those things,
the challenge of it, going through the suck.
You're not realizing it, but it's a dopamine release that's happening, and that's why you feel so good after you come out and you have a huge smile on your face all the time.
Yeah. Do I?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
you're like just so happy.
I'm ready to go. I'm like bouncing. It's like natural caffeine.
Yeah.
Because I'm in there.
Very interesting.
Your body's shivering from the cold. It's supposed to do that. And the reason I'm doing cold showers for now, I want to graduate to ice baths, where your whole body submerged, minus up to your throat, and then that's when you go to the real suck. That's next level. That's my next level to conquer.
Oh yeah, like
I've never done
plunge.
One. Yeah, that's going to be even colder. But the cold shower is a good warm up to get to the ice bath, to get yourself trained mentally, physically.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I never say never, but it's not on my list. I rather organize something.
Most people think I'm crazy. Like, what the hell? Why would you do that? You're crazy. And I'm like, try to explain to them, like, dude, it has benefits to it, man.
All right, so the next one is serotonin. Serotonin is the mood, the good mood hormone. So serotonin is the chemical that goes into overdrive when people take drugs like ecstasy and...
Oh my God, I'm guilty of that.
MDMA.
Yes, love it.
But it creates like this surge of serotonin. But why people that are coming off of those kind of drugs they're depressed is because you depleted your serotonin. And it takes a while for your body to reproduce it. And if you abuse the drugs constantly, your body stops making serotonin on its own.
Yeah. Same thing with bodybuilders who abuse steroids. Eventually your body stops producing
stops producing the hormone. 100%. So you've been giving it exogenously. Mm-hmm. So your body no longer, makes it endogenously.
Yeah, and if your body starts producing serotonin, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're
going down that dark hole.
Yes.
That's dangerous.
So if you are in a crappy mood though, like on a normal day-to-day life, you know how some days you're just like, damn, I'm in a bad mood.
I know.
Like, I don't like this feeling.
No.
How can you hack the serotonin hormone? Vitamin D. Get some sunlight.
Go outside and walk.
Also, like they say earthing. So earthing would be like walking with bare foot, bare
about
feet
that, huh?
on grass or dirt. Like
Yes.
being one with the earth.
Yes.
Helps.
We train Muay Thai barefoot.
Meditation helps, like clear your mind, like meditate, do one of those little app things. I just recently did one of those and it actually was very soothing.
I need to that's the next thing I want to conquer is meditating. First thing in the morning though. After my cold shower. Cold shower first.
Yeah. After your cold shower.
Yes.
And then some sun. So it says if you can go sit out, it's within a few minutes of waking up, if you have access to the sunlight or, go watch the sunrise, it's actually a very good way to start the day with some nice boost of serotonin. You're automatically going to get serotonin when you wake up, but as soon as your eyes see light, your serotonin starts to produce.
See light. That's
so darkness and sleep, it's melatonin.
Mellowing you out.
It's mellowing you out. That's how you think about it. But as soon as you see light, it's serotonin. That's why you don't want light in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep, because your body will start producing serotonin. When you're trying to sleep, you don't want to be in a good mood.
No, you don't want to be all happy.
You're not trying to be in a good mood.
Go lucky and up with, you're powering down.
Also, people think that that hormones and these types of things just happen in the brain, but they don't. It's actually in the gut. Serotonin is also in our gut.
Yes.
It's part of our digestive system.
Yes, it is. A lot happens there in our digestive system.
Yeah, and it's actually why the increase in serotonin, the surge of serotonin that you get after you take, if you take a recreational drug like MDMA or ecstasy, a lot of people will end up in the toilet.
Yes.
Because that's happening in your stomach, your digestive system. The serotonin overdrive will make you nauseous or have diarrhea.
Yep, we've seen it happen.
Yes, I have. I absolutely have. Or throw up.
We've seen that happen too.
Vomit. Also, it's very appetite suppressing. Serotonin.
I was about to ask you that because I asked you that question a long time ago. How come we're not hungry immediately after workout? Immediately.
When you're working out, you do generate serotonin. That's another thing that happens when you're working out. Workout is one of those trifecta ones. You're going to get multiple releases of happiness, good mood hormones, pain relieving hormones. But yeah, the hormone production in your gut will suppress your appetite for some time. So that's why you're not often super hungry right away, right after a workout.
I'm up by hours, sometimes even 2. Mm-hmm. When I'm really feel like yesterday I was like that. I wasn't hungry till a couple hours later. So I didn't force it. I'm like, if I'm not hungry, what am I going to eat? I don't want to force it.
There's no reason to.
No.
There's no reason to ever force feed. Mm-mm. Okay, so the next one is endorphins, while we're on that. So endorphins are a pain reliever hormone. So endorphins is what we experience when why addicts get addicted to pain medications and Norcos is endorphins. They're getting addicted. It's that the endorphin release. It's a pain reliever hormone. And some other things, though, that are a good way to bring on endorphins are exercise, for sure. So our body releases endorphins when we exercise.
Yes.
Also, it says here taking a hot bath, like a relaxing bath, or sitting in a hot tub or a sauna.
True.
So that's
good for nighttime.
Yeah.
Not daytime.
Relaxing.
Yes. You want to do that at nighttime. Daytime.
But also it says yoga, specifically yoga releases endorphins.
That's the next thing I'm going to conquer.
And laughter. Laughter, I wouldn't have known that one.
Well, that's what they say. Laugh and smile every day. Don't have your frown down, frown up. Yeah. Very good for the mentals. That's one thing I learned. You look at yourself in the mirror and just smile. Tell yourself it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, so I guess it's interesting because if you're sitting in a mood or low energy or whatever you're feeling, I guess think about the hormone that you want to produce to feel better, and then think about all of these different things you can do to bring it on naturally. Our body is just pretty amazing. Yeah.
And if you're feeling down and you want to watch something, go find some comedy. Go find some Dave Chappelle on YouTube and laugh. He'll make you laugh. I promise you that.
There you go. There's endorphins.
That's it. That's what I like to do. I like to see positive things, laugh.
The next one is oxytocin. It's a love hormone. So spending time with people you care about, affection, doing something nice for someone, animals. Animals a big one. Animals,
Yes.
this is why
Big time.
animals gravitate towards people that also love animals. Because when someone sees an animal and they love animals, they release oxytocin.
Yes.
And the animal can smell it.
Yeah, like, for example, I take Pablo with me to my academy. He's so loved there. He gets so much attention. It's crazy. Like, look at this little guy. Just soaking it all up.
Yeah.
But he's also, like you said, he's also smelling their oxytocin.
Yeah, he's smelling it. So have you ever seen someone go, how cute, cute dog, but they don't really like the dog, and the dog snaps at them?
Yeah.
Because they know that you don't like them. You can't fake out a dog's nose.
That's true.
They
I
know.
never knew that.
That's
You're right.
why, like, they can, you know, like, they know. So if your dog is responding weird to someone, it's because they know that they don't like them.
Yeah.
Because they're not releasing that love hormone towards the animal. So they think, they don't like me, they can be a foe. They're not a friend,
So
they're
that's
a
why
foe.
little kids accidentally get bit a lot, because they don't know how to approach a dog, and
or
they
they're
stick their
nervous,
hands out.
right? If they're nervous,
Yes.
they're not releasing oxytocin, they're releasing other types of, you know, maybe cortisol.
Yes.
Dogs can smell cortisol too. That's not a happiness hormone, so it's not listed here in my happy hormones, but cortisol is a hormone. That's what, you know, cracks me up. When people, like, they just use the word hormones so flippantly.
Yes.
There's hundreds of hormones.
Hundreds.
There's so many hormones.
There's a lot going on.
Some people are like, oh, my hormones are messed up. Really? What hormone and why?
Break it down, elaborate. Break it down. What hormones and what is it doing exactly?
Yeah, and why do you think it's messed up?
You're just spewing to spew.
Because
You're just
it's
talking
cool.
out of your side of your neck.
Because
you
it
don't know.
sounds like an easy way to explain why you're too lazy to go to the gym.
That's it. You're just too lazy.
Whatever. I don't know.
Look at the
You know
mirror
what I mean?
and blame yourself. Point. What do we do? Point the finger at yourself in the mirror, but how many are pointing back at you?
I
Use
just
that
think
trick.
it's funny because it's become one of those like buzzwords. People like to say hormones.
Just women or men doing
Just
this
people
too?
in general like to say my hormones are
I never
messed
said
up, or
that.
my hormones, or the. There's so many hormones, and you know it's just people just like to say they're messed up because they.
What do you always say to people, babe, if they think their hormones off if they're questioning? Go get your what done? Blood
your
work.
blood work
To
done.
see what's going on. Blood work tells you
Do
what's
you
going
have
on.
an issue? Is it your thyroid hormone specifically? Is it underactive, overactive?
Yep.
It, you know,
Hypo, hyper.
Do
which
you
one?
have a lot of cortisol? Like, but there's no magical, you know, fix for that either. You have to just learn how to manage stress. But again, certain hormones then are vilified. Like cortisol is seen like, oh, it's a bad hormone. No, it's not.
Negative. Nope.
It's bad when you have it when you're not supposed to have it.
Mm-hmm.
When you are trying to wind down for the day and your cortisol is elevated because you're extremely stressed out after a hard day at work, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's when you need to lower cortisol, take a warm bath, you know, do something to relax, meditate, release some other hormones that are going to counter that cortisol a little bit. But, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's just bad when you have it when you're not supposed to have it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like serotonin. It's a good hormone, right? It's a happiness hormone. It's a feel-good hormone. But you don't want to have a surge of serotonin when you're trying to go to sleep because you won't sleep.
Negative. You'll be wanting to go party and pop bottles at the nightclub.
You'll have insomnia, and then what will happen? You won't sleep, and then what will happen? Your cortisol levels will be high.
Yes.
Then you'll have cravings. Then you'll just and then you'll be in a bad mood because you didn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're lacking. Now when you want the serotonin, you don't have the serotonin. Now your cortisol is high. See, it's all like it's like levers. Think about all these hormones as like.
Yeah, and also like people think about when you hear stress, what do you associate that with? Negative or positive?
Negative.
Okay. Well, when we're working out, what do you think your body's doing? It's stressing.
Stress.
It's a good stress. It's
Right.
also releasing cortisol while you're working out, by the way.
And we
people.
need it. We want it. Cortisol gets us out of bed in the morning. Cortisol and serotonin, those are the things that get elevated in the morning when the sun comes up. They get us out of bed.
Yeah.
So, you know, the most important thing that I believe when it comes to making progress on your goals and fitness goals and things like that is not just doing the stuff that you think is the right thing to do, but knowing why you're doing things.
Yes. Don't be blind going into it. Know what you're doing.
Starting to understand it. So, like, know why. Why do I feel good after a workout? Why should I not skip this workout right now?
Yes.
Why should I push forward even though it's raining and cold and I woke up late? That was me
That was
yesterday. It was raining, cold, and I woke up way late. I did not have any time to like wake myself up before I had to run out the door.
So you kind of went to the, like me, we both kind of had experience. We both kind of went to work, got a little bit teed off. I wasn't the best of mood yesterday either. I was fighting to get to the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Freeway was full of traffic.
Same.
That pissed me off. Then when I got off the exit traffic, like, where the hell are these people going? Why you going the same direction as me? I'm getting angry. Like, I'm going to get to the gym. Yeah. Once I got there, I killed it in my workout.
Yeah,
Gone.
I found myself,
Done.
it's funny because it's like you do a lot of self-talk, and I think it's important to learn how to self-talk, okay? Learn how to sit there and have conversations with yourself in your head, because I thought to myself for a brief moment, like, maybe I should just skip. The weather's bad, I woke up late, but then I was like, wait a minute, no, because what am I going to do if I skip? What is that, how is that going to make my day better?
It's not. You're going to be pissed off you missed your workout.
I'm going to go back to bed? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm already up. I'm just going to fart around a little longer. Then I'm going to be in a bad mood because I missed my workout. I'm not going to get that dopamine dump. I'm not going to get the endorphins dump. I'm just going to like, there's no good that's going to come out of it. So you got to kind of like make that switch in your head, and you have to learn how to do that like a lot. Do that a lot. Like if you're debating whether or not you're going to give in to, you know, a plate full of cookies, stop and think about it. Like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Like, is that really going to be, like, it's going to be literally, I'm going to eat that cookie in 10 seconds. Is it worth feeling guilty after, feeling whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you're going to feel those things, don't have it. Only have it if you're not going to feel guilty.
Yeah. Yeah, be mindful, because it's easy to just throw things in your body. You have to learn. People, don't learn about your body. This is your vessel, your vehicle. Invest in yourself. Learn. Take some time to learn about yourself. What works, what doesn't. Learn, but people don't. I was just talking to my friend this morning while I was walking, and I was like, you know, people are quick. They'll be quick to invest in their clothes, their cars, their houses, everything but themselves. Makeup, whatever, hair, nails, but not their health. They could care less. Dude, this is the most important.
They'll watch a YouTube tutorial on how to get beach waves in their hair and how to use their Dyson Airwrap or how to do a makeup look, but they won't take some time to learn about how to control stress and how to reduce cortisol and how, you know what I mean?
How to make my mind stronger. That's why I do this cold stuff for. Mental fortitude. Everything I do that's hard is for my mental fortitude. I know there's benefits behind it all, but that's not the reason why I'm doing it. That's not my why.
It's very important.
Mine's for my mental health.
For sure.
I want to be able to knock out these demons or these bad thoughts. Keep them away.
Get in front of them.
Yeah, keep them away. Don't let them enter the mind, my frequency. I want to operate on a high frequency, not low. Society's on a low frequency. They're arguing over things that doesn't concern them. They're online fighting over politics. It's all operating on a low frequency.
Yeah.
I want to operate on a high frequency.
Right.
Much better.
Yeah, and whenever I see like a negative comment from someone, that's the first thing I think about. Like, ooh, like, wow, what kind of like
low frequency
are you on that you took time out of your day to write something negative? Like, you are sometimes. Like, I feel for you. Like, whoa, like you're levels below.
Yes.
You're on a low operating so your life, you know, it can't be happy.
We won't be in the same realm when we both leave this earth.
No.
I'm just saying that right now. We're not going to be in the same
You can't be happy.
tier.
You can't be in a happy place if you're saying negative things to people. Like, I don't spend my time, any time on spewing negativity on people.
Yeah. Because guess what? That's not making that person or persons feel good.
Yeah.
Uplift, not downlift. Uplift. Lift them up. Don't push them down. I think a lot of people love pushing people down.
Well,
they like feeling above them.
It's not really pushing them down. It's pulling them down. Right?
I got you. Pulling them down. Come to my level.
Because it's mostly people are wanting to bring people down with them.
You're right.
Usually people that are above, they are pulling people up.
Yep. That's what I try to do.
Or climbing. That's what they're doing.
Yes.
They're trying. I try to do that. I want to pull people up with me. Like, come learn what I've learned. Because I don't have time for negative stuff, you know?
Nah.
I'm here to help, inspire. That's it.
Inspire. Yep.
Inspire. If you don't want to be like, you know, uplifted, if you don't want to come with, that's fine. But then I just don't want anything to do with you.
No.
At all.
I'm cool. I stay away from negativity, negative people.
No. I will not engage in debates.
Nope.
I will not go on other people's pages and enforce my own opinion. If I disagree, I will just stay out of their house.
That's it. Stay out of their house.
That's
I don't argue over politics,
no,
religion, and
nope,
BS. I don't waste my time with none of that. Conspiracy theories, none of that. I'm cool.
No, I don't. I don't have any time for any of that in my life. And I'm just, like you said, you're trying to operate on a higher frequency. When I make an effort to do so, when I make an effort to do the self-talking, to hack my hormones, to do all of these things, I notice a difference. Things start to like fall into place.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way?
Yes, big
you
time.
Notice a difference, even though it's not like
It does.
It's just things start to fall into place.
Because you operate, you're radiating a certain energy, and people are feeling it and bouncing off of it too. They're accepting it.
So you're attracting. I don't know. It's cool because even for me now, like I actually set my goals for the year and little goals and all of that stuff, and I feel a difference. And it's because of the dopamine. You don't realize it, but that's why it's so important to even set really tiny goals, even hour by hour, daily micro goals. I used to call them because you'll get constant dopamine hits all day long. That's why it's nice to have the Apple Watch because you could be like, ooh, I'm gonna stand up this hour so I can work towards my stand goal, and you see it go up. Or, ooh, I'm gonna, increase my steps this hour. I'm gonna close a ring or whatever. It's little tiny dopamine hits all day long. It's like a little drug dealer.
That's funny. That's funny. We don't look at it that way, but you're right.
It is. It's like a legal drug dealer.
And it keeps you accountable, because if you're cheating on your workout or your steps or any kind of physical activity, it's going to say right there on your watch what you did today.
And what did we recently talk about? What the problem with society, which we know, we've talked about this a lot, is we're sedentary. Most people are very sedentary.
Yes.
And one of the things you can do that literally will prevent obesity and will prevent many, if not most, chronic diseases is to just move more.
That's it.
Not even exercise. I'm not even talking about exercise. I'm not talking about going to the gym.
Just a brisk walk. 30
walking,
minutes to 60 minutes a day.
Moving.
Just walk. You don't have to go fast. Just walk as long as you're moving.
Yeah, so like for me, I set that move goal because I have become sedentary. I really had to stop and take a look at my life, and without the Apple Watch, you lose sight of it. But I stopped and take a look, and because I've been so busy and I spend most of my day behind a computer screen, I become a sedentary person. Most people would be like, you're not sedentary, you work out every day.
Yes.
That's not enough.
That's an hour, though.
That's an hour.
And the majority of your calories that you burn throughout the day is from your rest and metabolic rate. It's not even from the workout.
No, that's a very tiny portion.
Very tiny.
Of movement.
Yeah.
Movement, really, the non-exercise movement is where you're going to get the bigger bulk of calorie burn.
Yep.
That's where you can impact that number the most. What people don't realize is when you're trying to lose weight, you have to change output and input. You have to, change the number of calories you take in. You also have to change the number of calories you burn. But the biggest impact you can make on your calories you burn is not exercising more. It's moving more on all your waking hours.
Yeah. Not
just by going to the gym for an extra half hour a day. It's by all that tweener time, getting a stand-up desk, moving when you're doing other tasks, if you can also be moving. Maybe you're on a conference call. You're on a phone call and you can literally walk up and down the hallway.
I do that. I'm guilty of that.
But it's good because that's like you're getting more use out of your time.
Yes.
But set those movement goals. I tell people all the time when I'm talking to my clients or doing a macro assessment even, I always tell people, even if they tell me, look, I'm sedentary, I'm like, okay, but just don't be like, I'm sedentary and that's that.
Yeah,
obviously,
right?
You want a macro assessment, so you're wanting to work on things. Mm-hmm. So how about let's work on not being as sedentary. I'm not saying to suddenly get off the couch and walk 10,000 steps a day.
No, that's not how it works.
No, what you can do though is take a look at what you are. If you are currently walking 3,000 steps a day total by the end of the day, start by increasing that by 500 steps.
Little by little. That's all it takes, and you'll notice a difference.
Oh, okay, cool. I did 3,500. Go on. And how are you going to do that? Like I recently, what I realize is I'm getting the dopamine hits when I hit 10,000. I'm like, ooh, I like this feeling.
That's 5 miles of steps?
5 miles,
for
yeah.
You?
It's up steps, 5 miles.
I walked today this morning, got 7,000 steps.
But my original goal is because I wanted to become someone that regularly walks 10,000 plus steps a day. But I didn't want to like shoot for the stars right off the bat and go from averaging 7,000 and think I'm going to just add 3,000 every single day. So I thought, okay, 3 days a week, I'm going to make sure I hit 10,000 steps. So I plug in walking into my calendar. Just walk for an hour, then you're going to get your 10,000 steps 3 days a week. But I noticed that I'm happier on the days I hit the 10,000. So I'm like, you know what? If I can do it more than 3, I'm going to go for it more than 3. And lately I've been doing it like every day because I'm happier. And what I'm realizing now, talking to you guys about happiness hormones, is I'm enjoying the dopamine hit from seeing the 10,000 steps.
You're like a little kid just smiling and giddy and it's good though. Hey, listen, but that's what you're telling people.
Yes.
They don't have no idea what they're missing out on. For people who are sitting to like, dude, come to our side. You'll be like happy you did.
Yes, it sucks and it's hard to get started.
It is.
It's hard to create a new behavior.
Yes, it is.
I had to sit there and think about it. How am I going to make this happen? I cannot just continue to say, oh, I gotta walk more. I gotta walk more. I gotta walk more. Because it wasn't happening. I did that for months. I'm like, okay.
You did. And I get on you like, come on. I walk Pablo, come with me.
Right.
You just...
The other day, it wasn't a day that I'm supposed to get 10,000 steps. It was Tuesday. And Tuesdays I lift and do an Orange Theory class, so that's like, I'm not going for the 10,000 steps. But I went to go to bed and I realized that I was at 9,800 steps. And yes, I did hop out of bed and walk around the room until it hit 10,000 because I wanted dopamine dump.
Up and down the hallway. Get your steps in. Whatever it takes.
But you know what, you guys? These are good things.
You're holding yourself accountable.
Yes.
That's your goal. And you want to reach your goal. And you weren't going to be settled till you hit that goal.
But I mean, these are good behaviors. And you know what irritates the shit out of me? When someone out there listening will think like, oh, you're obsessed. Like, and they think it is like a negative thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're so obsessed with hitting 10,000. You're obsessed with macros or this. But nobody says that to people about, like, they're obsessed with, you know, getting their pastry every day, or they're obsessed with, you know, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
You're spending money on things you shouldn't spend money on. But you're not really taking care of yourself. But
Sure.
But you're obsessed with other things.
Like, I think, I'm not sure if they ended up trademarking it, but Matt and Wendy, they've been accused. They were my coaches. I've talked about them before. Cyber Body Shop. But they've been accused for being like, oh, you guys are obsessed with fitness, obsessed. And so they coined the phrase, success requires obsession. And that was their logo for Cyber Body Shop. I think they trademarked it. But it makes so much sense to me because you have to be a little upset. Okay, fine, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with my health. I'm obsessed with and my aesthetics. I'm obsessed with, you know, cool.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It could be worse things I could be obsessed with.
Yeah.
This is a good thing. You guys.
So, yeah, to some degree, if you want to be really successful at something, it does require some obsession.
You gotta love.
With it.
You know what pisses me off? You gotta love these people that demonize healthy or call us health nuts or obsessed or this and that. Nah. You're just mad because you're not on this side. You're just mad because you haven't found your way. And it's okay. Once you admit, point the finger at yourself and say, well, maybe it's me. It is you. It ain't maybe, it's you. Because
maybe at one point in time, didn't we all kind of feel that way? Did I resent the healthy fitness people? I don't know if I did, to be honest. If I'm going to be honest with me. I've always been someone that admired. Like, oh, I want to be like them. I didn't look at them and go, oh, they're obsessed with fitness.
Right?
I've never been that way. But a lot of people, you were on the other side at some point. I'm not going to lie and say I was, because I've always kind of been. Someone actually recently said to me, what made you want to lose weight? What was it? And my answer was, because I wanted to live, we only have one life to live.
One life, people. That's it.
And I wanted to feel what it felt like to be like the best version of myself.
Yep.
You know, because we only have one life here. So I'm like, I want to be the best version of me. And I see these people, like back then as magazines, because it wasn't internet, social media and all of that. I would see people on magazines and I'd be like, I want to feel what that feels like to look like that. And that's what motivated me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on this podcast. We really appreciate it. Actually, we got a couple of more 5-star reviews. I read them, you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have no idea how much we love you guys. We
Yes.
love doing this. I hope that comes across. I hope you enjoy having coffee with us two times a week.
Please recommend us to friends, family, whoever
Yes.
you know out there. We're trying to grow this thing, you guys.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you on the next one.
See ya.